People told me I couldn't do a lot of things.
I feel like I'm the chosen one.
Look at this. We created this. This didn't exist before we were here. All we are is proud and passionate. I love Toronto. I love this team. And we're going to the NBA Finals. Let's go!
Nothing matters but winning.
You're going to the NBA Finals for the first time in your career.
Toronto Raptors are the 2019 NBA champions.
Welcome, everybody, to the first ever Rapzville Weekly podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Gabriel Chelio, along with my other co-host.
I'm Adam Kasuchi.
Welcome. Give a little sum up of what we are. We're two young diehard Raptors fans, and we're going to be giving our hot takes about NBA news and the Raptors franchise in general. So, without further ado, let's do some introductions here. Adam, you want to take it away?
Yep. We're two university students from Toronto. We both love the game of basketball. Gabe's going into engineering, and I'm going into kinesiology for school. And Gabe, when did you watch your first Raptors game?
Yeah, my first Raptors game ever, I think, was around 2013. I'm a late bloomer to basketball, I can say that. But when it was 2015, I think by that time, I started to get really dedicated, really passionate about the game, and I've been watching practically every game since. Adam, what about you?
For me, it was 2006. My parents kind of got me involved, my dad just watching it. And I didn't understand too much in 2006, just a couple players' names and stuff. Yeah. But as obviously I grew older, I started watching more, and I haven't missed a game for like the last couple seasons. And 2012 is really when I started understanding like Raptors, like the team and kind of keeping up with them. Like
really dedicated. Young bloomer here, 5 years old, already watching his first game. We can only wish that we do that to our sons, set them up that early. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So our format here, to give a little sum up of what we're going to be doing, we're thinking it's going to be one or two main topics every episode. We're going to try keeping these episodes somewhat short. We're going to aim for around the 20-minute mark, just so people don't get too bored and stuff, and you can hear the full segment. And we're going to be giving our opinions a lot, along with presenting to you guys facts, stuff that you guys didn't know, maybe some history about the Raptors. We had a couple segments lined up, ready to go. And we're mainly a Raptors account. And for Instagram, we have our Instagram links in here, and also podcasts. But we also want to introduce some basketball, big league news, everything, really.
Well, yeah, I think it's important that we introduce like the big leagues, and just in case, because Raptors content can run out a bit easily after plenty of episodes, So
it's good to stay open. Long story short, yeah. And then enough people start watching. We were gonna think maybe any special episodes you guys like us to maybe make for you guys. Just let us know, either basketball related or even another segment. I know personally, I enjoy a lot of different movies. I follow some other sports. So anything like that, let me know. Adam, what about you? What are you interested in?
Yep. Yeah, I'm all for sports. I've been watching sports forever. I just love the suspense in it. I love just sitting down on my TV and just paying attention to the games with friends, especially. And I watch hockey, soccer, basketball, football, but I'm most educated in basketball and soccer. Yep. So yeah.
Yeah, fun story just to throw in there is that me and Adam used to play soccer together, rep soccer for our local township. Yes, sir. And, long years coming. We had a nice childhood together, some fun moments. And that's where that's where our love for soccer really took off, is when we were kids. We used to play it a lot. And then, once we both kind of stopped, we both transitioned to a lot of basketball, really.
Yeah, I felt, it was just really... after soccer, I felt basketball was our next sport. And I felt like even a lot of our friend groups as well transitioned into basketball. It's a really fun sport.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I started playing it even late as well. Okay, so Raptors winning the championship. We're coming off a championship season here. We could have maybe threw in a back-to-back this year. Who knows? But you got to throw some respect to the mans. We won a championship, a very special moment for this franchise, fans around the world, especially in Toronto. Yeah. Parading with triumph as we were able to beat Golden State, and then the 24-year drought. Let's go. Shout out to the boys. Do you want to give our little bit of a
all those
recount?
years?
of the, what we went through, our experiences about this playoff, and the whole moment in general.
Yes, sir. Gabe, do you want to start, or
Okay, I'll start. So starting from the beginning of the playoffs, I tried watching as much games as possible. We're both university students now, first years, so we had a lot of. I've been working part time, and some games got in the way of work, but I'd always try to sneak out of work, go check the score, see what's going on. But starting off with Orlando, game one loss, it already throws everything out the window. We're all like, expecting a sweep, expecting an easy dub. We want to get out of the first round, no hassles. And then we lose the first game. It already threw off, the pace a little bit, and everyone's starting to get a little choked up, like what's going on here. But obviously took care of business. That was out of the way. Philly, what a series, back and forth. Both teams showing a lot of heart, a lot of ups and downs. We had some good games. Then Joel Embiid got all cocky with his airplane, and we had to show him whose game this is and who's really wants to win. And Game 7 was a huge moment, franchise history, probably the best of all time. And I was lucky enough to be courtside.
He was there.
I was lucky enough to be courtside that Game 7, and I was on the side that. I was right across from Kawhi. I had Kyle Lowry in my corner, and I remember that last play. The whole game was back and forth, and then I remembered he has the chance, guys. Like, we all looked at me and my friends over there. We all looked at each other, and we're like, he has a chance to hit the buzzer beater. Get out your phones. We all got out our phones, got Snapchat ready. I'm ready to record. I see the inbounds happening. I'm like, okay, it's going to Kawhi. There it is, and I have the whole thing on recording, just watching him go up for the shot. The whole stadium went in the complete dead silent. Everyone's like breath just stopped watching this ball rattle around the rim. And, no one knew, is it going to drop? We're all waiting for it. I got Kyle in front of me, like just anticipating the minute it sinks, just the whole stadium, man, like thousands and thousands of people just erupting. Everyone, me and my friends jumping, screaming, Kyle Lowry in front of me, jumping with his two hands up, getting all excited.
What a
moment, man. Like a shot heard around the world. You still see to this day commentary, highlight reels, top plays. It's always played, and you can always, there's some angles where you can see me and my buddies the back of our heads, and it's crazy to be a part of a moment like that in history. And it was just truly something special to be a part of. And that really was a fantastic series, and it made it a lot more interesting to watch how the Raptors were going to fare. So, made it to Milwaukee. Lose 2 off the bat, you're down 2-0. It's tough. You're like, okay, they took care of business at home. Now it's our job to do the same thing. So, the Raptors pulled through. They got the job done. A couple big games. Intensity is high. Watching every game, with your friends and stuff. Seeing the back and forth. Seeing Kawhi hit some big shots, some monster dunks on Giannis. The intensity of every bucket was just like amplifying, because we were getting closer. We were one step closer. Eastern Conference Finals. We were just about to make the finals for the first time ever. Like, the build-up was just crazy. Every bucket, every basket, everything. 3-pointers, dunks. It's just so much energy. And it's just unreal. So, eventually when you make it to Golden State, we made the finals. Like, that was a huge accomplishment in itself. And, all of our friends were just like, they could do it. Golden State's a tough team, but you can never shoot us out. We got heart. We got passion. We're just a tough team to beat, 100%. So, Golden State, obviously, we thought right off the bat, we're like, we're going to do this. We're going to take this, maybe even take it at home, bring it back in Game 5. And, it was unfortunate that we couldn't close out. Lowry, tough shot. I think Draymond Green got a little bit of hand on that. But we played great, though. We had a great series, some great guys. Fred VanVleet stepped up big, hit a bunch of big shots. Pascal dominated a couple games. Kawhi, obviously, is just the man he is. Lowry, that intensity he brings every night. So it was just a great series to watch. And I remember Game 6, a bunch of my friends we were at someone's house, and we just began absolutely losing our minds. Every basket that went in, we're just clapping our hands, cheering, getting so into it, because we're so close to finally achieving something that we've never done before, making the NBA Finals, winning a championship, just something that we never even imagined that we thought it could be possible. We never thought that with the squad we had before that we could ever get there, but with the likes of Kawhi Leonard, we hoped that it would one day be possible. So, especially that ending the fourth quarter, every time we just wanted to hear that final buzzer, but every time that ref kept adding time back on the clock, every last foul, we were just anticipating that moment for the championship, man. And that feeling when the buzzer finally sounded, and you heard Matt Devlin call out that famous Canada.
It's yours.
The NBA title is yours. That feeling is unexplainable. I just remember a rush of adrenaline, emotion, euphoria, everyone just screaming, jumping on each other, hugging. Like, it was such a surreal moment. I remember my friends, we all headed out to Market Lane, which is an area where people in our town get together for big sports events. We started driving around, honking our car horns, cheering, enjoying the night. I know I saw Adam and some of our other friends all going around, going crazy, driving in their cars. And it was one moment where everyone that you knew just came together to celebrate like a common achievement. And, we were hugging strangers, giving high fives, celebrating this amazing moment. And
doesn't matter who you were.
Doesn't matter. Everyone we knew was coming by. People from high school, people we've played soccer with in our past, cousins, friends, everyone was just coming by, cheering, screaming, honking our horns. Like, it was just truly once in a lifetime opportunity to be a part of. And I wish one day we get to relive it. Maybe our kids get to relive it, or live it for the first time, actually. But, it's just such an unreal moment, and I wish I have the chance to experience it again. And I'm sad that I did not get to attend the championship parade that year because, we had exams for school. But no doubt that was like a moment in history that will never be forgotten, something integral to the franchise. And I wish I was able to attend just to celebrate with the entire city. So that's my story. I'm going to give Adam, give your take on the playoffs and what you experienced there.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, I've been watching, I watched the playoff run, and I can honestly say it was one of the best experiences in my whole life. I never missed a minute of, like I said before, of all 82 of the season games, as well as the postseason. So I really pride myself on that, and being very committed to the team.
Nav super fan over here.
And yeah, and I just enjoy watching them. I mean, there's been times where I've had assignments and I've had to find a way to get them done before, and time management just to get in to watch that 7:00 game, or even the Western road trips that the Raptors had.
I feel you.
Just watching them staying up late and school the next morning, getting a little bit of less hours of sleep, but it's okay. That always works. And I remember at the beginning of the playoffs, a lot of people doubted Toronto. And how are they going to play with the Bucks, the Warriors? How are they going to play with these teams in a 7-game series?
Yeah.
Like guys like Giannis, Clay, Curry, like these are top guys in the NBA. We had our own Kawhi, Lowry, Siakam, but we didn't know if we can compete with them. And then obviously the playoffs, the game 1 loss with Orlando, playoff starting,
really shook a lot.
And that's a tough one to take. DJ Augustine, this guy's coming around picks, shooting threes, getting to the rim, and I felt like that game was poorly refereed, but he had a great game. And but I did feel that Nurse did rally the troops, and he got them back together, and then winning the next 4 straight. And I felt like they were just a different team after that game 1, and that was I think really important to their confidence.
Yeah, build character
and to their run moving forward. I think it was a big part of it. Then moving on to Philly, I felt like that series was like a back and forth series. I felt like there was no like real winner. I felt like there was it was kind of going back and forth, and then it's just like after the game 6 loss in Philly, everyone was just questioning it's one game. Like we're here in Toronto, we gotta extend this.
Yep.
We gotta make it to the Eastern Conference Finals versus the Bucks.
Yeah, it's a do or die really, and you got the fans supporting you. You got our fans, our crazy fans, all that energy, but it's a do or die. So one mistake, could be the end of it.
Yeah, and I felt you could feel the tension in the building. Gabe, you were there. There was I could feel it literally through the TV. Everyone was on their feet.
Yep.
Every bucket the Philadelphia scores, the arena went silent.
Yeah.
Like it was a very big event in Toronto. And
For sure.
And then obviously with Kawhi, with Nurse calling the timeout, and then Kawhi coming around with the ball, dribbling down the right corner, just pulls up, fade away. And that ball rolled around. At first, I didn't think it was going in.
Yeah.
It took the first bounce was the worst one.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't think it was going in.
I thought he missed it.
And then it hit all parts of the iron and found a way in.
Truly
FTV,
miraculous.
Lowry, Baca, just putting their arms in the air. It was like, and the Leonard scream. That was amazing.
Yeah, that photo of him on the ground, everyone around him, Joel Embiid just sulking, everyone just jumping on Kawhi.
Yes. Yeah, and I also feel that I wanted to mention Philly. I felt like they didn't have it with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid as leaders. I respect them as players, and I feel like they're two really good talents in the NBA. But I don't think they were ready, especially at that point in time. And Ben Simmons still cannot shoot a three ball, which I tell Gabe all the time, and I just dislike about his game. But yeah, I feel like Ben Simmons, he couldn't really stretch the floor for the 76ers. And I felt Embiid, his stamina was an issue, and I felt like he wasn't always engaged in the game, and I felt like he was like taking plays off on the defensive end, and every possession is important in the postseason. And I feel like and that Embiid kind of drifted away from the leader that he could have been. Okay, so moving back,
it was just that they were really they were young. They were young, and they were, I think, just too inexperienced at the time. That was the problem. They lacked maybe, I don't know, maybe confidence. It was hard to tell. And was that in the playoffs where they also scored that 0-point game?
Yes. And and now moving on to the Bucks series. Going into that series, we knew the Bucks had weapons. Bledsoe, Brogdon, Giannis, Middleton. They had weapons. Brook Lopez, that guy's been hitting threes and he's been torturing us in the games we played against the Bucks.
Isn't that the truth?
And and the first two games, we got dominated both ends of the floor. Defensively, we were like a step slow. We were getting blown bys, draws and kicks to the corners, and they were hitting threes like crazy. Yeah. And we couldn't stop Giannis's penetration. And I felt like once we stopped Giannis's penetration to the rim, we can finally like start breaking them down, and their offense would soon fall apart. After the first two games, once again, Nick Nurse, he puts them together. He literally makes them united as a team, and his game plans are really unreal. Like I guess maybe not playing the Bucks for the first two games, I guess he kind of realized some things they did and some things they didn't do well, and he capitalized on that. And yeah, they came out, won the next 4 games. It was unreal, with Kawhi getting the left-hand slam over to Giannis in Game 6, which was so unreal. And Kawhi really took over that series, and I felt FVV was also getting back into it after having a poor series in the Philly series. But Gabe knows me. I never doubted him, and I never doubted him since day one in Wichita State. He's a real competitor and a warrior, that guy.
You got to give credit to Nick Nurse, like you're saying, coming off that first season as a head coach, big assignment, already given a team that wants to win a championship, big moves being made, like taking in Kawhi Leonard, like a lot of pressure is put on him to deliver this year, especially by Masai and upper management. They're putting you in a position where this might be your only chance to win because Kawhi could walk. So you have to take advantage now. And if we want to win, it's got to be this year. And, he delivered. He did his job. He brought the chip home. What more can you ask for?
It's a pressurized moment, and he did it. And I felt like he kind of worked his way up from coaching, and I think good for him. Like, I mean, he is, I think, was the best candidate for the job. And we kind of saw it in stints behind Casey, but we didn't really see too much of him. But it turned out well. And then now moving on to the Golden State series, the super team. There could be a lot of hot takes on Durant's and Clay's injuries. But I feel like there's no excuses there. I feel like the Raptors worked their butts off. They played as hard as they could in that series. And knowing they were the less talented team, they literally worked, I would say, even double as hard as Golden State did. And they knew the weapons that Golden State had, of Curry, Clay, Draymond, and Durant, obviously. But I thought FVV did a great job of closing out Steph Curry in that series. Yeah. And I think Pascal too, leveling out Draymond Green, keeping him off the glass.
Yeah, he had some good games, 30-point games.
Yeah.
Game 1.
Even Gasol, I'm not going to forget about him. He had a lot of people questioned his offense early on, but I thought he did a great job on the defensive end. And moving the ball also on the offensive end. High IQ guy.
Yeah, great passer. Can spread the floor a little bit. He's a great big when he was playing on his game.
And I just wanted to talk after the game 5 loss. It was kind of tough. knowing that we could have won. We could have won the championship at home, but and it was a tough game, and they played well in the last 2 minutes. They really there was a questionable timeout by Nurse, but I think I would have called it as well. He just wanted to slow everything down, and but yeah, and they kind of just slipped a bit in the last 2 minutes with Clay hitting that big shot. And,
that was big.
And,
it was a lot of pressure for sure, and feeling that loss. The Raptors fans, our hearts kind of like sunk for a second, and we're like, you don't want to give a team like Golden State the light of day. Giving them one win, you could have fueled the fire.
Yeah. No, and then going into Game 6, like this is in the last game at Oracle Arena. Like this is going to be a historic game forever. And I felt like Kyle Lowry, I don't know what he listened to before that game, but he was on fire.
He started on fire.
11 points straight. Like he was on fire.
For sure. He wanted it, man. He brought that mentality.
He knew that this was the chance. This was the chance for him.
Yeah, if he wanted.
This was really his opportunity.
Exactly. If he wanted to be a champion.
He performed. Yes, he did. No, and I felt also the second half, I felt like, the Warriors kind of made a couple runs in the game, but I felt like Jack Armstrong, one of the reporters of the Raptors, bend but never break. The Raptors were sometimes caught in like bad runs and giving up a couple of cheap fouls and buckets and threes. Yeah. And I felt they did a good job. I felt they did a good job of stopping that and staying composed and trusting each other on the defensive end. And then I just want to bring in FEV. I just want to say that fourth quarter was, along with Siakam hitting the big bucket at the end. FEV, just everyone doubting him in the Philly series, and then having such a
turnaround.
Wow, just such a great series. And then that Game 6 when everything was on the line, hitting those 4 threes, getting 12 points in that fourth quarter from a bench player at the time was unreal. Even though I still think he should have been starting in that lineup. But
some of those tough shots, man.
And he made them. He did it, and that was literally unreal. And a lot of my friends doubted him, but he did his thing. He did his thing, and
he pulls through.
It out.
Steady Freddy. Exactly. Okay, Adam. Any more comments on after the championship? What was your experience like, Market Lane?
Market Lane was great. We hopped in the car with my buddy John and a couple others, and we literally went down to Market Lane. It was like I was feeling like I was in like a fantasy world. It was crazy. Everyone was honking their horns. Everyone was hands out the window, screaming, "We won it finally!" And I think it's from all those people who've been waiting all those years in those down years. In the 2000s and the early 2010s,
the Bargnani years, all that.
Yeah, there was a lot of downtime. There was a lot of losing. It was a lot of hate towards the team sometimes in that time, and they just pulled through, and it was a great experience going down to Market Lane, seeing you there. Yeah, and like you said, seeing old friends, cousins, people I played soccer with, people from high school. And it was a great experience. Everyone was so hyped up, and it's something I'll always remember, and it'll be an experience I'll never forget.
Yeah, it was truly inspiring just to see, the whole city come together for a moment for once, and all differences put aside, all adversities, all negative energy, hate, all that stuff just put aside for a second. Not a thought in our mind was crossing about crimes or any bad news. We were just all focused on the good, and the whole city just came together and enjoyed a moment, and it was just beautiful. Okay. I think that's wrapped up for our intro podcast. So we want to thank you all for listening, and we'll be recording soon. We are thinking that we are going to be most likely posting Mondays and Fridays. So this will be coming out on one of those days, and we will be going through our Raptors Instagram, Instagram.com/Rapsville. That page will be having links where we can. We'll be posting it on there most likely in audio form, and it'll also be available on Spotify and other listening services.
So before we go, I just wanted to give a special shout out to our frontline workers for all the hard work they've been putting in for COVID-19. And thank you for keeping our city as safe as possible and dedicating your time to such an important cause.
Also, we want to acknowledge all the protests going on right now for George Floyd and all the Black Lives Matter movements. It is extremely important to come together and stand up to the injustices that are going on in the world today. Our voices need to be heard in this cry for justice and equality. So we're hoping that everyone stays safe in these troubling times, and we hope you all enjoyed the podcast. So that's us signing out. Peace.
Peace.